Hey guys, welcome to this in-depth analysis of Novak Djokovic's backhand. Let's talk about his grips. He's got the right hand is a continental grip. The left hand is a Eastern backhand grip. Okay guys, so now ideally what I want to go over are some of the things that you can realistically copy from his backhand, because obviously there are a lot of details that a lot of people are going to miss, and for amateur players, even high-level players, it's hard to get everything from his technique. But let's start by analyzing the takeback. And what you're going to see is that the right arm is straight and the left arm is slightly bent. And you're going to see this in a lot of high-level backhands of the two-handers like Zverev, Nishikori. You're going to see similar patterns where as soon as the racket starts to go back, the right arm straightens out and the left arm is slightly bent. And while that's happening, the shoulders are turning a little bit more than the hips. That way he gets a nice coil. And then he's able to fire up the core and allow the arms to be freely and drive forward. Personally, I think his backhand is one of the nicer looking ones out there. Okay, so we went over the right arm straight and the left arm bent. And we also need to go over another technical fundamental thing that's very common at a higher level. It's that the racket is going to be above the wrist during the takeback at the very beginning, and right before he's about to swing, right when he reaches that power position right about here, the racket is still up above the wrist. And you're going to see this in a lot of the best two-handers in the world, like Nalbandian, Zverev, Nishikori. They all do the same thing, Monfils. The racket starts above the wrist during the beginning phase of the takeback, and right when they reach that power position, the racket again is still above the wrist. Now, every player is slightly different. Some have the racket a little bit higher than others. Some close the racket a little bit more than others, like Djokovic closes the racket and Rafa closes the racket even more. Now, you could model after this, or you could keep it a little bit more traditional and compare it to someone like Nishikori or Zverev, where the racket is a little bit straighter prior to the forward swing. Personally, I would model after this, unless you're a really high-level player that's trying to work on the details and get that extra spin on the ball. But from my experience, the racket face doesn't need to be super close during the takeback for you to be able to brush the ball. You just need to make sure that the racket falls well under the ball. That way you can swing up on the ball. Now, even for myself, I try to model after someone like Djokovic simply because, in my opinion, he has the best two-hander. And there are a lot of good two-handers out there, but I just think that he can do just about everything with his backhand. And it's very reliable, especially on the return serve. And so I think it's a really good backhand to model after. So again, it's a simple technique in a way. It's just everything goes back together with the shoulders and hips, and then everything comes through. Both hands help at the end to finish brushing. He gets a good amount of rotation, and it's a very, very efficient shot. You can almost compare it to something like a Federer forehand, or someone really with a really beautiful stroke like a Nadal forehand or a Federer serve. I would put it on that kind of category. I think it's one of the all-time great strokes. So again, racket is up, right arm straight, left arm bent, racket falls, and then the body continues to rotate afterwards. Something else that you can also point out is that whenever he wants to brush the ball, his racket head will get slightly more lower over the ball, and when he's trying to flatten it out, the racket won't necessarily drop as much because he's trying to go for a more linear swing path. So just keep this in mind. Okay guys, on some of these, I'm going to show you guys my backhand. Basically, I model after the racket up, the right arm straight and the left arm bent prior to the swing, the knee bend. I try to model after all those things. And yep, that's what I can realistically copy. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Like and subscribe for more content. Take care.